Beavers are often celebrated for their ability to restore wetlands and increase water retention. But when it comes to a desert environment like Dixie Creek, things aren't so simple. Dixie Creek is a small waterway flowing through a dry, rugged landscape. Water levels can change drastically between seasons. During rainy periods or snowmelt, the creek may flow more vigorously, but for much of the year the flow is minimal or even intermittent. Dixie Creek is a fascinating example of how nature adapts to varying conditions. In the spring, when snow from the nearby mountains begins to melt, the creek swells with fresh, cold water. This is a time when the surrounding flora and fauna thrive. You might see wildflowers blooming along the banks and animals coming to drink from the revitalized stream. However, as the seasons change and the summer heat sets in, the creek's flow diminishes significantly. The once lively waterway can become a mere trickle, or even dry up completely, leaving behind a rocky bed. This dry period is a stark contrast to the creek's vibrant springtime appearance, but it is a crucial part of the local ecosystem. During these dry spells, the hardy plants and animals of the region rely on their adaptations to survive. Some plants have deep root systems to tap into underground water sources, while certain animals may migrate to more fertile areas or enter periods of dormancy. Dixie Creek's seasonal transformations are a testament to the resilience of nature. Despite the harsh conditions, life finds a way to persist and even flourish in this arid environment. The creek's ebb and flow serve as a reminder of the delicate balance within ecosystems and the ongoing dance between water and life. Beavers require a constant water supply to build and maintain their lodges and dams. Dixie Creek, like many desert streams, doesn't consistently flow year-round. When water is scarce, beaver dams can collapse and beavers themselves struggle to survive. Beavers are fascinating herbivores that play a crucial role in their ecosystems. They depend heavily on woody plants like willows and cottonwoods, which serve as both their primary food source and essential building materials for their dams and lodges. Along Dixie Creek, the riparian corridor is often limited to patches of hardy shrubs and a few trees. This sparse vegetation is usually not enough to sustain a beaver colony in the long term. Beavers are known for their ability to transform landscapes. By cutting down trees and building dams, they create ponds that provide habitat for a variety of other species. The limited availability of suitable vegetation along Dixie Creek poses a significant challenge. The few willows and cottonwoods that do exist are quickly consumed or used for construction, leading to a scarcity of resources. In addition to their dietary needs, beavers require a stable supply of building materials to maintain their dams and lodges. These structures are vital for creating the ponds that beavers rely on for protection from predators and access to food during the winter months. Without a sufficient supply of woody plants, beavers may be forced to abandon their colonies in search of more suitable habitats. Efforts to restore and expand the riparian vegetation along Dixie Creek could help support a more stable beaver population. Planting additional willows and cottonwoods, as well as other native shrubs and trees, would provide the necessary resources for beavers to thrive. This, in turn, would benefit the entire ecosystem, as beaver activity promotes biodiversity and improves water quality. While beavers are fantastic ecosystem engineers in habitats where they've traditionally lived, introducing them to Dixie Creek could disrupt the delicate balance of this desert ecosystem. Sudden changes in water flow might harm native species and reduce the water available downstream. Some rivers and creeks in the American West historically supported beaver populations. These industrious creatures played a significant role in shaping the ecosystems they inhabited. Their dams created wetlands that provided habitat for a variety of species, from fish to birds to amphibians. However, for most desert waterways like Dixie Creek, there's no strong evidence that large beaver colonies ever existed here. The arid conditions and lack of suitable vegetation likely made it difficult for beavers to establish themselves in these areas. Without a history of co-evolution, local plants and animals aren't adapted to beaver-made changes. This means that introducing beavers to these environments could have unforeseen consequences. For example, the construction of beaver dams could alter water flow and availability, impacting species that rely on specific water conditions. Additionally, the vegetation that beavers typically use for building their dams and lodges might not be present in sufficient quantities, leading to potential conflicts with other wildlife that depend on these plants for food and shelter. Understanding the historical context of beaver populations in the American West is crucial for making informed decisions about wildlife management and conservation. By studying the past, we can better predict how current and future actions might affect these delicate ecosystems. This knowledge helps ensure that efforts to reintroduce or manage beaver populations are done in a way that supports the overall health and balance of the environment. Desert creatures and plants have evolved to survive with minimal water and harsh conditions. Beavers, on the other hand, are built for wetter environments. Their physiology, feeding habits, and dam-building behaviors are ill-suited for an arid habitat like Dixie Creek. So while beavers can be a powerful force for wetland restoration in places where they naturally occur, Dixie Creek isn't one of them. Trying to place beavers here could harm both the beavers and the existing desert ecosystem. Looking ahead, the idea of relocating beavers to desert ecosystems brings both promise and challenges. Recent studies suggest that, under the right conditions, beavers could help restore water flow and create lush oases in arid regions. Experts argue that beavers' natural dam-building activities can increase groundwater recharge, supporting vegetation and wildlife even in the most unlikely places. This could potentially turn barren landscapes into thriving ecosystems, fostering biodiversity and offering new habitats for various species. However, the challenges are significant. Desert ecosystems are delicate, and introducing beavers could disrupt existing water dynamics, leading to unforeseen consequences. Researchers stress the importance of carefully controlled pilot projects and ongoing monitoring to ensure that any relocation efforts are beneficial and sustainable. Despite these hurdles, the future holds exciting possibilities. With thoughtful planning and collaboration between ecologists, hydrologists, and local communities, beaver relocation could become a valuable tool in the fight against desertification and climate change. This forward-thinking approach could pave the way for healthier, more resilient desert ecosystems. So, while beaver relocation presents both opportunities and risks, it remains a fascinating frontier for ecological restoration and innovation. Visual. Before introducing any species to a new habitat, it's crucial to understand local conditions and historical context. Protect ecosystems by respecting the species that naturally belong there.